So I rewatched Nimona today on Netflix, and here are my thoughts on it. This movie has been out for a couple months already, so I'm sure a lot of you have already seen it. I'm just reviewing it because there's nothing interesting in the theater that I haven't reviewed already. And since it's been out for a while, there's gonna be some spoilers here. So if you don't care for spoilers, go watch the movie and then come back. First of all, this movie was almost canceled because it was originally a Blue Sky Studios animation, and Blue Sky Studios is long gone, but I'm so glad that it was picked up again because I loved this movie. I absolutely love the animation style. It's 3D animation, like most, if not all, animated movies are these days, but the way it's done gives it a 2D-like element. The characters look very flexible and stretchy, like 2D animation, almost. And the facial expressions are As an artist myself that loves using facial expressions in my art, that is something that I love to see. And what I've seen from the original graphic novel that it is based on, the style is drastically different. Graphic novel has a somewhat old Adventure Time-esque style to it, but the style in the movie is a lot more brightly colored, and the characters have these big sparkly eyes. I've only ever read up to chapter 3 in the graphic novel, since I don't have a physical copy, and from what I've seen, the story is drastically different. Ballister and Ambrosius, their relationship is drastically different. In the graphic novel, from what I've seen, they seem to be rivals, if not completely enemies. In the movie, they have a very complicated relationship that shifts throughout the story. They are quite literally boyfriends at the beginning and at the end of the story. Their relationship starts to shift a bit when Ballister quote-unquote kills the queen. Because the big thing with Ballister is that he's the only knight within 1,000 years to not have a royal bloodline, so a lot of people already don't trust him. But then someone switches out his sword for a weapon of some sort, and it shoots out a laser and kills the queen. And from then on, Ballister is viewed as a murderer and is in hiding. And this interests our little protagonist that the movie is named after, Nimona. I'm gonna say right now, Nimona is probably the most entertaining character I have ever seen in any form of media. I absolutely love her energy. I'm sure there's a lot of people that may find her annoying, but I personally love her lust for chaos and destruction, and the dynamic that her and Ballister have, where they're constantly having a back and forth of, let's kill people, no, let's not do that, is super entertaining to watch. Ballister just wants to figure out what the fuck is going on and who was behind the death of the queen, and Nimona's over here like, let's break shit and kill people. And as Ballister is being broken out of jail by Nimona, she reveals to everyone in the castle, including him, that she is a shapeshifter. And that's pretty much her whole deal. The reason she hangs around Ballister is because everyone hates him too, and they can be outcasts together. That's her thought process, basically. She thought, oh, this person was rejected by the system too. Let's team up and kill people in retaliation. Which leads to the theme of this movie, basically. There's actually two themes, but they kind of intertwine with each other by the way they're handled. And it's questioning the system and wanting to destroy anything that's different, basically. Everyone who has seen Nimona do her transformation automatically assumes that she's a monster no matter what she's doing. She literally saves a child from getting crushed by a car, but the child saw her shapeshift, and because everyone is trained to believe that monsters are killing machines and anything that looks scary is a monster, stuff like that, the child picks up a toy sword and looks at her with hatred and calls her a monster. And the system that they have put in place is there is a wall around the kingdom that is supposed to keep monsters out. Because a long time ago, there was a monster that quote-unquote destroyed the kingdom or whatever, and then a hero named Glorith came along and stabbed the monster in the heart. So now everyone is under the impression that there are monsters outside the wall, and that anything different must go back to the shadows from whence it came. That's a line that's said a lot throughout the film, and it's embedded in these people's culture to kill monsters and dragons and stab them through the heart. Everything from video games, TV shows, a cereal commercial, and they put their faith in the will of Glorith's legacy. And we later find out that the story of Glorith is not entirely true, because the monster in question was Nimona the whole time, who was actually friends with Glorith, who was probably like 9 or 10, at the time. And the kingdom at the time was only a village. And people just saw this shape-shifting little girl and immediately went to attack her. Rightfully so, she retaliated, but that just made everyone even more scared of her. And then Glorith decided she would join in and pick up a little wooden sword and say, "Go back to the shadows from whence you came." And it chased Nimona away, feeling betrayed, rightfully so. So the whole story was twisted into this big heroic thing, when really, it's the people who were monsters because they were scared of something they couldn't understand, and didn't bother to. So that's how the two themes intertwine with each other. The system is built around destroying anything you don't understand, so you should question the system, which seems reasonable enough. And honestly, there's a lot more that I could talk about, but I think this video is getting long enough for right now. So if there's anything else you would like me to talk about, let me know. But honestly, I would really give this movie a 10 out of 10.